Hey everybody, my name is Ms. Chance. I'm going to be your A&P1 lab instructor. And so this class is VIO 2511 section 5IL. So y'all will meet on Wednesdays. Now, when you will actually come to lab face-to-face on a Wednesday depends on which group you're in. You're supposed to sign up for groups using the People tab that is found on Canvas. So if you go to Canvas, look on the left side, you will see a button that says People. And when you go there, you can self-sign up for either Group A or Group B. Now, I would suggest going and looking at your first aid handout first. It shows which groups are doing what each week. And so if you have a preference as to the dates that would work best for you doing your face-to-face labs, then you might want to sign up for that particular group. Now, I will say this, once the group is filled, once either group is filled, then you will be stuck with what's left over. So if you want a particular group, then you need to sign up as soon as possible. Okay, otherwise you're going to get just what's left over. For my other lab, that was Group B that was left over. Everybody signed up for Group A pretty much. I'm going to go over the first aid handout. That's what we would typically do the first week anyway. We are only going to meet virtually this week, so you need to watch this Zoom. You need to read your first aid handout, and then you need to get on Canvas. You need to go to modules, and you need to do the first module under the important course information. It's going to have your lab safety, and it says week 1 module or something like that. But it's going to be lab safety and the anatomical terminology labs. So both groups are doing both labs this week, and they are due by Sunday, okay? Anytime you have an online lab, and I'll try to explain this again when I get to the actual schedule in a minute, but anytime you have an online lab due for the week, you actually have all week to do it. But you will have Sunday until the next Sunday to do it. So like today is the 18th. So tomorrow's the 19th, which is when you would typically come to lab. And so your labs are going to be due on Sunday the 23rd. Okay. So entirely up to you. If you want to spend your class time working on the labs, that's totally fine. But you would not come to lab if you have an online lab due. Okay, so I'm going to switch over now my screen. I'm going to switch it to the first aid handout so I can show you guys some stuff. And I'll actually be switching between screens, going back and forth from this to Canvas to show you some stuff. So just bear with me. So I want to show you this one right now. All right, so you should be seeing my first aid handout at the moment. I'm going to go back up to the very top, okay? So again, y'all are section IL. Y'all meet Wednesdays 1 to 2:50, depending on your group. And you will meet in Rush Hall, room 106. When you come in the Rush building, it should be basically the first door on your right, okay? I will not have office hours this semester. That is due to the virus. They're asking us not to be on campus any more than we have to, just to limit contact with people. And I will say that is totally fine with me. I have a 10-month-old at home. I am also expecting another baby. And then I have 2 parents who are older. My dad just had surgery, so I'm trying to stay well so that I can still see them. And I'm trying to keep my babies safe, okay? And I'm sure most of you have somebody in your family that you're trying to keep safe as well. So just because I don't have office hours, that does not mean that we can't meet together. We can Zoom together like this, where we can talk face to face, so to speak, and I can go over information with you if I need to. So there are ways that we can still meet together if you have questions. Other ways you can reach me is Canvas inbox, okay? So I'm going to switch to Canvas really quick. I know this is probably going to get annoying, me switching screens from one to the other, but it is what it is, and that's how it's going to have to work this time. Okay, so Canvas inbox. If you go to your Canvas site, now I'm actually on y'all's course right now, but if you look on the left, and I answered emails this morning, but I've been working on other stuff, so I haven't had a chance. So that's why I have 10. If you're one of those 10 people, I will get back to you as soon as I can. But this is your Canvas inbox. This is where you can communicate with your instructors. And so I have the app for Canvas on my phone, but I do not have my notifications turned on. So while I can check that, and I check it, several times a day, that's not something that it will pop up as soon as y'all send me a message. So if you send me a message there, just know that it may take me some time to get you a response, okay? If you have an emergency situation and you absolutely feel like you need an answer right that minute, then what you need to do, you should be seeing your first day handout again, but you can text me at this number right here, and it actually comes straight to my phone. My notifications for it are turned on, so when it comes through as a text message, and I will respond to that as soon as I can. Now, obviously, if I'm teaching a class, I can't respond. If I'm driving or something like that, I can't respond, but as soon as I can, I will get you a response for that, okay? Notice that I do ask that you only use that number to text me between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And the reason, like I said, is because I have a 10-month-old. Before 8, we're trying to get ready for daycare and work and all that stuff, and get her breakfast and whatnot. And then at 8 p.m., I'm usually trying to get her down for bed for the night. So just between 8 and 8, my rule of thumb is if it can wait till tomorrow, and you don't have to have a response right that minute, then just use Canvas Inbox, because I will check that. And then if it's, like I said, something an emergency, you're fixing to take a test and something's wrong, then you can always text me on that number, okay? Now, there's no need to do both. You don't need to send me a Canvas Inbox message, text me, and use this email address right here. I check all of those all day long. So when you send me one of them, I will get them, okay? And I will respond when I have time, okay? So just send me one message and wait for a response. If you haven't gotten a response within, for sure 24 hours, then yes, message me again, because it might have slipped through the cracks. But typically what I do is I try not to even open it until I have time to read it. And then that way I can make sure I get you a response, even if it's I'll have to check into it or whatever, okay? Your text this time is actually an ebook this semester. I think part of that is because of COVID, and I think we're also trying out piloting, so to speak, online lab books. So this is what your book would look like. It should be titled Volume 1 Human A&P Lab Manual, and it's written by Elaine Merritt. Now, to access your book, you would go to Canvas. So I'm going to switch back over to Canvas. You would go to Canvas. You would click on Red Shelf Materials. All right, and again, I told you, you guys are Section 5IL. So I think that Red Shelf is going to actually list all of your courses. So what you would want to do is scroll down until you saw your course. So again, y'all are this one right here, 5IL, okay? You would want to click View Course Materials. Now, this is your book at the top, and then this is your mastering down at the bottom. Now, I'm going to explain more about mastering in a separate Zoom. I'm limited on the amount of time I have for this particular Zoom. So because I don't want to run out of time doing that, I will do a separate one for mastering. I ask that you please not register for mastering or anything yet, because I don't even have y'all's set up yet. As of last Thursday and Friday morning, I didn't even know for sure which classes I was teaching. So I usually have all my stuff ready to go day one, but that just didn't happen this semester because everything was just kind of in limbo until the last minute. So after today, I'm doing y'all's Zoom today, and then after today, I hope tomorrow to do the mastering stuff and get all that ready to go for you guys, okay? So just give me some time to get mastering set up, and I will explain how this down here works, okay? But you can access your actual ebook up here, and you should be able to start reading and looking at it. And then I might do a separate Zoom on ebooks as well, just to tell you a few things about it, especially if I have any questions about that. But this is where you will need to go to access your pre-labs. Those are your assignments that you will have for lab each week. And you would probably want to print those off. So just make sure that you have this downloaded, that you know how to use it, and then if you have questions, you ask me, okay? Because you are going to need this book. You're going to have assignments from this book, okay? Okay, so back to the first day handout. So I mentioned the word mastering a while ago. That is going to be this section right here. Mastering A&P is an online site that we use to give online homework. And so, like I said, I'm actually going to just do a separate Zoom to show you more about that and show you what you should see. I have nothing set up on your mastering yet. So if you try to even look at it, it's going to act really weird. And you're going to be like, I can't get on the mastering. No, you can't, because I haven't set it up. Okay. So do note that very last sentence. Lecture and lab are separate courses. So you get a separate grade for each course, and you have separate assignments for each course. So if you are wanting to do mastering for lab, you need to go to your IL course. If you are doing mastering for lecture, you need to go to your lecture course to do the mastering. And again, that button is actually on Canvas on the left side. It's right under your red shelf materials. It says My Lab and Mastering, okay? Student learning outcomes, y'all can read those. Is basically what you should learn throughout the semester. Attendance policy, this is basically our generic one. What's highlighted in green is actually kind of for this semester for hybrid courses. So for this lab course, this is for y'all. It says it will be taken in class and online. And to be counted present for the week, the student must attend one physical class and must have the online assignment submitted by Sunday. Now, I will say this. The labs are working a little different than lectures. If you have a lecture that's a hybrid course, then yes, you have to go to class one day and you have to do an online assignment. Lab is a little different, okay? You only have class one day a week. Typically, when we have a lab, you would only come one day. So that's where the groups come in, the group A and the group B, okay? And I will show you more about that when we get to the schedule in a minute. But if you are in group A, it tells you whether you're online or face-to-face for that week. If you are face-to-face, that means you come to lab. If you were online, that means you have an online assignment. And that is how you will be considered present. If you had a face-to-face lab, if you're a group A and you have a face-to-face lab that week, then I expect you to be in class. That is how I will take roll, okay? If you are in group B, and let's say you have a face-to-face, then I expect you to be in class, and that is how I would take roll. And then group A, I would look online to check for your attendance, okay? So each group is dependent upon which group you're in, and that will determine whether you come face-to-face for the week or whether you are doing an online assignment for the week, okay? You still only have lab one day a week, okay? So you will never come to lab any other day than Wednesdays, okay? It's just like I said, that if you're group A, some weeks you'll come, some weeks you'll do online. If you're group B, some weeks you'll do online, sometimes you'll come face-to-face, okay? And I'll talk more about that when I get to the schedule. You are only allowed 2 absences, and that's whether it's excused or not. And so you need to make sure you keep up with your absences. I'm not going to track you down if you've missed 2 days and say, hey, if you miss one more, you're going to be dropped, okay? Y'all are college students. Make sure you keep up with how many days you've missed. I will make a seating chart when we come next week, and then the next week for the next group. And that will determine, you can choose where you sit to an extent. So I'm going to scroll down here. This is all in red, has to do with our social distancing and COVID stuff. So seating. You should only sit in seats designated to sit in for social distancing, and you would see a sticker that looks like this at that seat, okay? So you need to make sure that when you come in and choose your seat, that is where you want to be for the rest of the semester, because that is where I expect you to sit. That is how I would check roll. That is also how, if someone in class gets the virus, that is how they will determine if anyone needs to quarantine and how they can let them know. So it will help us trace back and let people know who need to know that maybe their neighbor had it or whatever. Okay. Tardies and leaving early. When you come to lab, if you are late, please come in quietly, take your seat, and please let me know for sure after class that you were here. I typically do a fairly good job of kind of catching who y'all are after I get to know you guys. But just make sure that you know that you tell me that you're here. And the reason is because if you don't and you are marked absent, then you're absent for the day. Okay. So obviously don't come up to my desk and get right in my face. But just, you know, after class, hang around at your seat and just say, you know, hey, Miss Chance, just want to let you know I was here today. Okay. The hybrid format, again, because the number of students in this course exceeds how many can fit in the room, and still allow for social distancing, this course was changed to a hybrid format. This means that part of the class will be conducted online and part of it will be face-to-face. You should have signed up for groups through the People tab on Canvas. And so that should be available now, so you can go ahead and do that. You can view the first day handout first to see if one group would suit you best, and then sign up for that group. This is first come, first serve, so once the spots are filled, that's it. If you wanted group A, but you hadn't got signed up and group A is filled up, then you're in group B, okay? And I can't change that because I can only have 15 people in a group. That's the most that they'll let in our classroom right now. And so, so like I said, once that group is filled, that's it, okay? You must wear a mask when you're inside an MCC building on MCC's campus. If you are outside within 6 feet of someone, then you should also have a mask on. And your mask should be worn properly. I do have a mask. I'm in my office, so I don't have to wear mine in my office, okay? But you should have it covering your nose and your mouth, okay? Just like that. And so I should not see you walking around with it like this or like this, okay? So please make sure that you wear your mask correctly. As I said earlier, I have a baby on the way. I have parents who are older. My dad just had surgery, and so I'm trying to keep them well. I'm trying to keep me well, and I'm trying to keep my babies well. So let's help each other. Let's keep each other safe by doing what we're supposed to, okay? Let's see. Helping prevent and slow COVID. Students will be given 2 sanitizing wipes at the beginning of class, and they will be used. They'll be used one at the beginning, one at the end. The one at the beginning, you will wipe your seat down, and then at the end, you will do the same, okay? And then you will discard those in the trash as you leave. There is hand sanitizer found in all the rooms, and then also in the hallways. If you're like me, I actually keep hand sanitizer attached to all my bags so that I have some when I need it. And I use it often, and then I wash my hands as often as I can too. I also teach microbiology, so I'm used to washing my hands a ton. If you've ever taken microbiology, you will probably see why. Let's see. Let me do this real quick. Okay, y'all. I hate to do this. My baby's daycare just texted me, so let me answer her real quick, and y'all can just be kind of reading really quick. Okay. All right, so let's go back to, let's see. All right, so y'all are still seeing the first day handout, which is what I want you to see. No guests, including children, should be brought to class, okay? If you type me an email, please make it to where I can understand it, and then that will get you a response much quicker, okay? Classroom behavior, electronic devices, cheating, I will let y'all read all of that stuff right there. Electronic devices, I will kind of hit on a little bit. Typically, if it's an ebook course, some teachers will say that it's okay, and I typically for my lecture say that it's fine to bring a electronic device. However, with lab, it's a little different. Any papers that you should need, you should print before class, or either it's stuff that I may print for you if I feel like you just absolutely have to have it that day. But you would not want to have those out, like just say while we're dissecting. You would not want your laptop or your phone or your tablet sitting on the table, because if you were to spill something on that or drip any of that preservative or whatever on your device, then it could mess it up. So so during labs, during the actual experimentation part or whatever, or dissection part of the lab, I would ask that you keep those out of sight, basically in your book bag if you have them with you. Now at the beginning of class, we will often do like note taking, watch videos, that kind of stuff, and during that time if you need it out, that's fine, okay? But it's just when we're actually doing dissections and whatnot that you would want to get that put up, okay? So I'll mention that for that. Other institutional policies, if you go to Canvas and click on modules, and under the important course information module, you will actually see the fall 2020 MCC policies. That's what this is talking about right here. All right, lab grades are on a 10-point scale. You have pre-labs, those come from your lab manual. Your mastering is the online site. And then lab worksheets are what I will hand you in class, and lab practicals are your exams. Pre-labs, you will actually have a pre-lab every week. It's just that some of you, based on your group, will turn it in physically because you had face-to-face that week, and some of you will submit a quiz online as your submission for the week, okay? And I feel like once we kind of get going and y'all have done this for a couple of weeks, y'all kind of get the hang of it, okay? I know all of this is different. This is different for me, y'all. I've been here. This is my 13th year, and I've never done anything like this before. So just know that we're learning together. While I'm thinking of it, let me show you my screen again. All right, so we're going to go back to your course. If you click on modules, that's basically where you will find all the course content. And I hid this on mine. I hid this first section because I don't want to look at all that every time. And so here's your important course information. Notice that it says you must view, submit, and mark as done the assignments in order to open the rest of the modules. So if you look under here, it says view, submit, view, okay? So you're going to want to make sure that you do those things, okay? Otherwise, all of this stuff below that is going to stay locked until you do, okay? Once you get this stuff up here done, you need to go ahead and look at week 1 and 2 labs. Now it says week 1 and 2. This is week 1, and next week would be week 2, so to speak. And we're doing the same labs for both weeks, okay? And I will double check that due date. Let's see. Y'all have, that's not right. Yeah, so y'all have till August the 23rd to get all of that done, okay? Now, lab safety course. Lab safety course, and I need to add this here. Let me do this really quick. You're gonna want to, lab safety course, I want you to mark as done, okay? Because some students will mark as done even though they didn't actually do what the directions say, okay? So I'm gonna walk you through really quick what you actually are supposed to do. So when you click here, notice it says please read all of the instructions. You are going to click on this link. It's going to bring you to a new screen, and you will see a green button that says enroll. You want to click the enroll button, and once you do, then you can actually go to your dashboard over here, and you will actually see a new course that has popped up in your courses that will say Fall 20 Lab Safety Course. Okay, when you click on that, you would go to modules, and you would make sure to do all of these. You have to score at least 7 out of 10 on this quiz to move to the next section. You have to score 5 out of 7 on this training in order to move to the last part, and you have to score 10 out of 10. This is actually just a true false question saying, yes, I've done this. Okay. Once you've done all this, then you go back to your course, IL. You go back to modules. And when you click on the lab safety course, now I have the teacher view, but you will see a button in the top right corner up here that will say mark is done, and that's when you will mark is done. Okay. But you want to make sure you do that this week, and then you want to do your anatomical terminology lab stuff this week too. Okay, so you want to make sure you do all of this. Now, the pre-labs. All the pre-labs come from your lab manual. Okay, that is where they come from. Here's how this is going to work. On the weeks that you come face-to-face, you will actually bring this pre-lab in with you, and I will physically check it and give you a grade. On weeks where it's online, like this week, you will come on here, you will click the once you've done the actual pre-lab, then you will click the take the quiz button, and once you finish the quiz and click submit, then that will actually serve as your submission for the week for your pre-lab. Okay, so if you're doing it online, you take the quiz. If you're coming face-to-face, you bring it with you. Okay. Now, one other thing, and this is kind of why I got on here to show you. Notice that this says, please do not worry about anything below this text header at this point. So anything below here, although it's there and some of it's going to open up, don't worry about it. Okay. I'm building this class as we go because, like I said, this is all new, and up until Friday I didn't really know for sure what I was teaching. So I'm building it as we go, and as we go you will see more assignments pop up. I will fix due dates, change due dates according to what this semester requires of you. Okay, so you guys don't worry about anything else except what's up there above that right now. Okay, all right, back to first day handout. I think is this one. Okay. All right. Sorry, daycare again. Just making sure nothing's wrong. All right. So, this is just showing you the breakdown of the class. Pre-labs are 10%. Mastering is 10%. Lab worksheets are 20%, and lab practicals are 60%. Practicals are your tests, and you'll have two. You'll have one at midterm, one at the end. Typically, I actually give lab practicals a face-to-face way, to where you actually walk around the room, you go one station to the next and answer questions. Because of social distancing and because of all this COVID stuff, that was discouraged to do that this semester, and I get it. So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my lab practicals to being a proctored online test. Okay, so both lab practicals will be proctored, and you will use Honor Lock right down here. You will use Honor Lock in order to access your proctored exams. Now, if you have tested here before, if you were here this summer, this past spring, even last fall probably, you used ProctorU. We had a lot of trouble with it over the summer, and so we actually switched to Honor Lock. Honor Lock works a lot differently than ProctorU, and I think students are going to like it. But what will happen is, if you decide right now, I want to take my test, you can actually go on and take your test. With ProctorU and all, you had to schedule an appointment, you had to you had to, you know, and you typically had to do so well in advance, especially if it was like finals week or midterm week or something like that. But you shouldn't have to do all that with this. You can pretty much log in, take it whenever you want to, okay? You will need your student ID or either your driver's license in order to take your test, because you have to show them in the screen your ID before they'll let you actually log into the test, okay? Some of the stuff I know I skipped up here, you can go back and read that. That's not stuff that I feel like I need to cover. Last day to drop is November 4th. That's with a W. If you have questions about HonorLock, or if you're having difficulties with Canvas, then you need to contact eLearning, and I put their number right here so that you can contact them. The Success Center hours actually changed. It's actually 8 to 12 on Fridays. I think the Monday through Thursday is still correct, but it's only 8 to 12 on Fridays now. So if you will just make that correction mentally. As I said, I will not have office hours this semester. There will be times that I'm probably in the office, and if you do happen to come by and I'm in here and you have a question, just please don't barge in. Just stand outside the door and ask me your question that way. I would prefer us communicate through, like I said, Canvas inbox, the text message number that I gave you, or the email address that's at the top of the first day handout. Okay, so here's the big part, okay? Here is your schedule for the whole semester. Notice on the right side, I have Group A and Group B. I have Group A and Group B, and I have your dates there, okay? And I tried to color code them so that that would kind of stand out that, hey, this week I have face-to-face, this week I have online stuff, okay? Now, I want you to look at it with me, and then once you've kind of looked at it, if you still have questions, then please let me know, okay? Because I don't want anybody being confused. And remember, I can't fit more in the room than needs to be. So if you show up for the wrong day, I may have to say, you're not here for the right day. So, all right. So this week, the 19th, you are doing first day handouts, Canvas, mastering safety, and then we're doing anatomical terms as well. Okay. That lab is actually due the 23rd. Okay. So whenever it says that it's an online lab, so tomorrow's Wednesday, that's your typical lab day. If you have an online lab due, then it will be due the following Sunday, okay? If it's online only, okay? Now, if it says face-to-face, that means when you come to class physically on that day, then whatever's over here is due when you walk into class. So on 8/26, Group A, you should bring pages 23 and 24 already worked with you to class in a 3-ring binder, okay? Now, while Group A is doing this lab, the dissection lab on the rat, Group B, you will actually be doing an online lab. You will be doing the microscope lab that week, okay? So Group B, you will actually have, so even though theirs is due on the 26th, you will have until the following Sunday to submit your online work, okay? Now, the next week, 9/2, Group B, you will come and you will do what Group A did the week before. You will do your dissection, and you will physically bring me these pages, 23 and 24, already worked. And Group A, while they're doing their face-to-face lab, you will be doing your online lab of the microscope, okay? And so that's how this is going to work. This week right here is actually the week of Labor Day. So what I did for all of my labs was I'm going to assign an online lab for that week for everybody, and you will have until the following Sunday to submit it, okay? Then the next week, 9/16, so if you look, they kind of go diagonal from each other. Group A, you're doing face-to-face, while Group B does online. The next week, Group B, you do this face-to-face, while Group A does this online lab, okay? So that is how this is going to work, okay? And then, like I said, lab practicals, they are going to be proctored. However, they will be given online, and that you will use Honor Lock in order to take those exams. Okay. Now, I mentioned this, I think, earlier, but I want to mention it again because I don't want y'all to get confused or messed up. Group A, your due dates are pretty much in order, okay? 8/19, 26, 9/2, 9/9, 9/16, 9/23, okay? And so on. Group B, you are going to want to pay very close attention. You have some sort of lab every single week, okay? Whether that's you have to do an online assignment or you have a face-to-face lab. So if you will look, yours are not necessarily in order by the date, okay? Because I kind of did it by the assignment instead. So 8/19, you're doing this one. 8/26, you're doing this one. 9/2, you're doing this one, okay? So if you need to, you go on your calendar and you write down all your labs if you're in Group B, okay? So that you can keep up with it, okay? I'm expecting you guys to be organized. You're going to have to be organized to keep up with everything this semester, okay? But I just wanted to point that out, that Group B, yours are out of order, but you do still have something for lab every single week, whether that's an online lab or whether it's a face-to-face lab, okay? Okay, so pretty much I just put these here as a reminder before each lab practical that you do have mastering assignments due the nights of your lab practical. I typically do them the night before, but I just decided to go with that night since it's an online lab anyway. I would suggest you getting your mastering done before you take your test, as you might see some of those same questions on your test, okay? That's really all I can think of as far as the groups and the schedule and whatnot. So if you have questions about any of that, please let me know. This page right here is the first day handout contract, and typically on the first day, I get students to actually sign this and turn it back in. Because of social distancing, I'm not going to do that because we don't want to be passing stuff around, touching a bunch of different stuff. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch back to Canvas real quick. All right, so what you're going to do in this first module, this is important course information. There's a contract quiz right here. The first question is actually going to have you scan, take a picture, whatever, of this page and upload it for question 1. And question 2 is actually going to be the last page of the first day handout. So let me go back to here. And it looks like this is the student info sheet. And you will actually take a picture of it, or you can also use an app called Cam Scanner. It takes really good scans of especially documents with writing on them. It makes it very clear for us to read. But you can use Cam Scanner and save that and then upload it to your question number 2. And then the rest of the questions are just either true, false, or something like that. But that will kind of serve as your attendance for this week, is doing that contract. Part of your attendance for this week is doing that contract and then doing your lab safety, and then also your anatomical terms. Okay. As far as I can remember, I think that's pretty much everything. Like I said, I am going to do another screencast, not screencast. I am going to do another Zoom that will go over your mastering stuff, so that y'all will understand how to do that. Remember, I do not have that set up yet. I hope to get that done tomorrow. I'm fixing to have to leave after I get this Zoom put into your course. I'm going to have to go for the day, but I hope to do mastering stuff tomorrow, okay? But you have plenty to do and not worry about mastering. I know in that important course information it mentions setting up for mastering. As long as you at least read through it, that's fine. Just click on it. It will open up the next module. And then you can always go back to your instructions once I get it set up if you need to refer back to those to actually set that stuff up, okay? So remember, next week, I will go back over this really quick. Let me show you guys. So next week, the 26th, Group A, if you sign up for Group A, you will actually physically come to class on the 26th, okay, which is next Wednesday. If I said Monday at any point during this, I apologize. I was looking at my calendar wrong. But y'all are Wednesday lab, so you go by Wednesday dates, okay? But I don't think I said it, but just in case I did, you are a Wednesday lab, so don't come on Mondays, okay? So Group A, you will actually physically come to class on Wednesday, 8/26, while Group B, you will actually do an online lab for next week, okay? Which means you do not physically come to class, you work on your online assignment, and I hope to get those posted maybe by like Sunday. And then that way for the online portion, if you have an online portion, then you have the whole week to do that, okay? So if y'all have questions, please contact me, let me know. Group A, I will see you guys next week. Group B, don't forget to do your online lab next week, okay? I hope you guys have a great first week or first rest of the week. And I look forward to meeting all of you. And if you have questions, please let me know. Okay? Y'all have a great week.